What's up, guys? It's Tearless here. Welcome back to the Dreadscar Rift for the final time. In this video I'll be looking at the last of the Warlock specs, taking a look at Demonology Warlocks. This will actually be a two-video series, not just a single video series. In the first video we will be looking at Demonology Warlocks and their changes in World of Warcraft Legion, which they probably got the most, considering Demon Hunters have come in and kind of taken over what was core to their class, or their specialization. And then on top of this, in the next video, we'll be taking a look at the PvE and PvP talents that are available to a Demonology Warlock in World of Warcraft Legion. I also forgot to mention, in this video we'll also be looking at the artifact weapon that is available to a Demonology Warlock. As you can see here, I have the dagger on my side here, and I believe it comes with this wonderful little floating skull, which is pretty cool. So that's everything for that we'll be going through in this video. We'll be looking at the removed, changed, and new abilities for Demonology, which is a lot to go through. And at the same time, we will be looking at the artifact weapon. And then in the next video, we'll take a look at the PvE and PvP talents. So with that being said, before we go too far into things, I'm going to be showing off something I haven't done in any of the videos, because Demonology means kind of a lot more than it does in the other Warlock specs, but all of your pets got graphical upgrades, which is pretty cool. Now, I'm not going to go through the Infernal and the Doom Guard. I'll wait until the next video to show you those two when I get the Grimoire that allows me to have them as permanent pets. But for this video, I will show them off starting with the Imp. The Imp is one of the more difficult ones to notice the graphical upgrades, but they're pretty significant, especially when you start to get to something like the Succubus, and you start to see just how much, how pixelated those old demons used to be, and they've now upgraded them. So there is the little Fell Imp, the Imp. So, and then the next one here, I'll show you the Void Walker. Now, do take note, I'll mention this in the changed abilities, but it actually costs a soul shard to switch, to actually summon a pet now. So I gotta make sure I always have a soul shard up. The Void Walker looks awesome. When I was comparing the two specs between Live Client and this one, and taking a look at them, and what they have, how they've changed, this is one of the better ones. I think this is really cool. So there's the new Void Walker. We have the new Fell Hunter. This will be more of your affliction pet, and you can see this one's been greatly improved. You can see all of his little hair spikes, or whatever they're supposed to be, on his back pretty well. You can even see the hair underneath his belly there, so it's really been improved. I really do like it. And then let's move on to the Succubus, which has been probably the most improved, because she was extremely pixelated. And so now she has a little bit less pixelated now, much less pixelated, I should say. So she has definitely improved as well. I was kind of hoping that would pop her out of invisibility, but it did not, and I cannot pop her out of it, so that is fine. She can stay like that for now. But that is the Succubus. And then lastly, we have to show you the Felguard. So let's go ahead and pop him out. And there you go. He is one of the lesser changed ones. He's still wielding that old model axe, but he has seen an update to his model. So that's everything with Demonology Warlocks and how their pets look. So let's look at how Demonology Warlocks have changed before I get into the changed abilities. Now, a lot of abilities have been removed. Several that are brand new. But the main thing is that Demonic Fury is now gone. Soul Shards is now the mainstay for all Warlock classes. Basically, it's kind of weird. For this expansion, most of it has been about separating and, making specs different and unique, making them their own little unique snowflakes. And then the Warlocks who got that actually last expansion find themselves doing the opposite. They're all becoming the same. At least in their resource management. They're now all on the Soul Shard system. And basically the whole reason for this is because Demon Hunters were added to the game. when Demon Hunters were added to the game, the developers had to look at Demonology Warlocks and be like, well, Demonology Warlocks have, half of what makes a Demon Hunter a Demon Hunter. Everything regarding Illidan had been put onto Demonology Warlocks. So they had to strip it away. And so they give you soul shards, and so now Demonic Fury is gone, and everything regarding Demonic Fury is gone as well. It's completely scrapped, and so they have a new system in place dealing with soul shards. So what does this basically mean for Demonology Warlocks? As we start going through the removed, changed, and new abilities, you will see that they have crafted a unique playstyle that is different from both Destruction and Affliction. If you've actually seen those videos, it's going to be pretty unique from those two. It's going to be heavily focused on having tons of demons out and just being a master of demons, basically. Somewhat, if you've also seen the Beast Mastery video, how they really kind of emphasized having multiple beasts out and just being able to have control over multiple beasts. That's basically what Demonology is going to be about. It's about you as the Warlock being, controlling over all these greater demons and being able to do plenty of damage with them. So, that is the whole kind of subject, the new way of a Demonology Warlock. I wouldn't call it new. It's just that with the loss of, your metamorphosis form and stuff like that, things that were like transformed yourself into a demon and stuff like that, they've decided to say, okay, we've lost your own self transformation, let's make you more into like a wrangler of demons. You actually control a ton of demons and you have power to summon tons of demons, and so that's what they've gone with, and you'll see it as we start looking at new abilities and their changed abilities as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at removed abilities. First, Corruption has been removed. Corruption is now basically if I remember correctly, it is an Affliction-only spell. Immolate is going to be your Destruction-only spell, so Corruption has become an Affliction-only spell. It is no longer available to Demonology Warlocks. Dark Intent has been removed across the board. Blizzard felt that it was not needed for Warlocks at all, so it has been removed. Dark Soul Knowledge has been removed as well. Demonic Circle Summon and Teleport are both removed. They have become talents, so you'll be able to talent back into it, but you do not have access to it anymore. Demonic Leap has been removed. Demonic Leap was part of Metamorphosis, so really, to be honest, you don't need that anymore because you can no longer Metamorphosis. So there's no reason to be worried about that being removed. Hand of Gul'dan, as you know it, is gone. Its name still persists. It has a new name. I considered putting it under the changed tab, but there's just so many changes going on that I felt that Hand of Gul'dan just needed to be in the removed, and when we get to the new abilities, you'll see what the new Hand of Gul'dan can do. Hellfire has been removed. That's been around for quite a while now. It used to be, if I remember correctly, more of a Destruction Warlock ability, and then it became Demonology for some reason, and then now it's been removed. Metamorphosis has been removed, is no longer available. Soulfire has been removed. That's been around for a while, but really hasn't found a place. It's like the Warlock version of a Pyroblast, and it was kind of in a weird place because there was Chaos Bolt already for Destruction Warlocks, and where Soulfire best fit was actually with Destruction Warlocks, but it was in a weird place, and so it was with Demonology Warlocks, and now they've just decided to get rid of it altogether. So it's no longer there. Soul Shatter has been removed. No longer have access to that. Really, you don't need any threat reduction in the game anymore. I could be wrong about that. It could be you have to actually pay attention to your threat anymore, but Blizzard in the past has made it pretty clear they really don't want threat management to be something that DPS has to worry about anymore. So Soul Shatter has been removed, and anything that is threat reduction in the game has been taken out. Soul Shatter is not available to any Warlock anymore. Blood Pact has been removed. Any stat buff increase has just been removed completely from the game. Molten Core has been removed. Soul Harvest has been removed. Wild Imps, to my knowledge, has been removed. I remember looking at Wild Imps and looking at the tooltip, and it was like 3 paragraphs long, I felt like. I'm glad they removed stuff like this. This is just, there's just so much wording, and I went through Wild Imps, and I checked all the abilities to make sure it wasn't inserted in different abilities, but I'm pretty sure that it is gone for good. I think basically what Wild Imps did will basically be taken over by the new Hand of Gul'dan. Um, so you're still gonna have that kind of playstyle in there. It's just Wild Imps, the passive, has been removed. And then lastly, Demonic Tactics has been removed. That is the last ability that has been removed from a Warlock. Anything that is just a flat stat buff, secondary stat buff, has been removed from all classes. So that's something you really shouldn't worry about. With that being said, let's take a look at the changed abilities. First off, Enslaved Demon no longer reduces the haste of the target enslaved. So now you can enslave a demon and it will no longer reduce the haste of that demon you enslaved. It'll do maximum damage. Health Funnel has been changed. It now sacrifices 24% of your health instead of 12%, but it heals the demon for twice as much health sacrifice. So I sacrifice 12% of my health, which is roughly 140, it's like 168,000, okay? Somewhere around those lines, okay? And, sorry, I sacrificed for 24% of my health. 168 times 2, so we're talking around 330,000 or so of my health is gone. And then it will heal the demon for twice as much as the health you sacrificed. So we're talking in the 600k range. This demon right here has a grand total of 734k, so it's going to heal for almost like a full health bar for some of these demons. I think an imp has more around sub 500k, so you're gonna be able to heal a lot, your demon for a lot through the sacrifice. But it's it's cost benefit. You're losing a quarter of your health to heal your demon, so you have to be careful. It will no longer heal just a base on the demon health. I think I got this wrong in the Affliction Warlock video. I said that it went from double healing down to triple healing, and I wasn't reading the tooltip correctly. No longer heals, at least from what I saw in the tooltip this time around. Basically, it always healed for a flat 36% of the health. That's no longer the case. Now it just heals for twice as much as the health sacrificed. Life Tap now sacrifices 10% health instead of 15% health to get the same, at least I believe the same mana back. If I tried to compare mana costs back and forth with a calculator between all the abilities, I would be getting a video out like once every week, and you guys would never get all the information for all these specs in time, because it would take a really long time to do that. But I do believe it restores around proportionally the same amount of mana. Shadow Bolt no longer generates Demonic Fury. That's gone. It now will generate 1 Soul Shard, and it no longer increases the duration of Corruption, deal extra damage, etc. That has been removed because Corruption is gone, Demonic Fury is gone. So basically, Shadow Bolt has returned to basically, I'm going to spam you with damage, and you're going to give me Soul Shards. Simple as that. You're actually going to get a lot of Soul Shards as Demonology. Demonology creates Soul Shards like crazy, whereas Affliction has trouble generating Soul Shards. Demonology creates them like crazy. Summon Demon no longer costs mana. I mentioned this. It now costs 1 Soul Shard. Do note that your Soul Shards, if you were unfamiliar with Affliction, Soul Shards used to generate out of combat all the way up to 4. That has been changed. You now have 5, and it will generate 1 out of combat, but it will not go beyond that. So you start off with 1, so you'll always be able to summon your demon even out of combat, and it'll continue to summon that one, but it'll not give you the others until you start getting into combat, and then the Soul Shards will stick there so long as you're combat. If you were noticing in the top left-hand corner, that one that I built from the Shadow Bolt actually stayed for quite a long time, and that was because I needed to get out of combat, and then the timer needed to come off so that it actually drained a Soul Shard. Unending Breath, this is important, now increases your swim speed by 20%, really important there. And then Mastery Demonologist no longer increases other abilities. It used to increase the damage of several other abilities. It now just increases the damage of your demons. That's it, which is what Demonology is all about. So, with that being said, with all that's been removed, you basically are kind of on a fresh you're on a fresh slate here on what you can do with Demonology Warlocks. So, let's look at the new abilities and see what you can do. First, I need to build some Soul Shards for this new ability. This new ability is called Call Dreadstalkers. Summon 2 ferocious Dreadstalkers to attack the target for 12 seconds. 2 soul shards. So this is the beginning of you, summoning demons to attack all the time. As you see, they just like jump in there and start attacking the imp, which is pretty cool. Okay? The next ability is called Demonic Empowerment. Let me pull this up here. Empower your active demons with dark energy, increasing their haste and health by 56% for 12 seconds. So you're basically going to be buffing your demons for the time being. So I'll send this demon in here to have him sit there and deal damage. And you can see his haste was pretty sick there in what he's able to do. And it only costs mana. It does not cost any soul shards. So if I get some shadow bolts out here, and then I use called Dreadstalkers, and I can use Demonic Empowerment again, all of a sudden you have a lot of haste going out to all of those demons, and they're doing a whole lot more damage. So that's pretty cool. The next ability to look at is Demon Wrath. Causes your demons to crackle with demonic energy, dealing 36,000 shadow damage to all enemies within 10 yards of any of your demons over 2.8 seconds. Castable while moving. Demon Wrath damage has a 15% chance to generate 1 soul shard. So, once again, I'm going to call the Dreadstalkers again. And if you notice, I was at 0 soul shards, because the soul shards do not generate when I'm in combat. So, I will not get that one nice, soul shard when I'm in combat. And I'm going to use Demon Wrath right here. As you can see there, you can see the kind of purple pulse out of them. That is Demon Wrath right there. That's pretty cool. So it's a really nice AoE. It is the new AoE for Demonology Warlocks, basically. It kind of reminds me of Beast Cleave for Beast Mastery Hunters. So it's a Beast Cleave sort of, so to say, for your Demonology Warlocks. This is very similar. This is somewhat similar to, I would say a little bit to Beastmaster Hunter, but it really is its own thing. Next new ability, Doom. I didn't call this out in the remove section because it was actually a part of Corruption. Corruption used to like improve into your Doom. It's no longer the case anymore. Doom is now its own separate spell. And Doom has been changed. It used to like deal a lot of damage over time. At least it used to be an improved version of Corruption. Corruption dealt damage over time. Doom dealt damage over time. Now, I believe this is back to the way Doom used to be. Inflicts impending doom on the target, causing 221,000 shadow damage after 18 seconds. So basically, it's a dot that you want to finish, and it will generate a soul shard once it is done doing the damage. So I can pop it on all of them, and then I have Doom on everyone, and just for fun, I'll just start sending in damage all over the place. And then you're going to start seeing Doom pop on these targets here. They should have popped on all of them now, I believe, on the last target. Yes, it is gone now. So I'm going to do once again, just so you can see Doom. I'm going to pop it on this target, so you can see right there, and it's gone already. I'm going to pull back the army, pop Doom one more time, and as you can see, there's Doom on the target, and it will continue to tick down. Oddly enough, it's not showing above the target. Normally, it shows above the target, with the little kind of symbol of what is actually going on, but not in this case. In this case, it is not showing it above the target, and instead, it'll just pop right there, and there you see the Doom. So, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the next new ability, which is Hand of Gul'dan. So this is the one that has been changed. Hand of Gul'dan calls down a demonic meteor full of wild imps which burst forth to attack the target for 12 seconds. Deals 37,000 shadow flame damage on impact to all enemies within 8 yards of target, and summons up to 4 wild imp based on the soul shards consumed. So this is a very confusing tooltip. Blizzard needs to clean this up. I'm going to clean it up for you. Hand of Gul'dan deals up to 37,000 shadow flame damage on impact to all enemies within 8 yards of the target, and will summon up to 4 wild imps based on the soul shards consumed. So ignore the first part, because it makes it almost sound as though when it lands, it will summon wild imps, and then depending on how many soul shards you use, it will summon wild imps. They kind of need to just reduce overall how much is being shown there. So I'm going to send that in a bit again, and I'm going to go ahead and build up my soul shards all the way to 4, so you can see what we have. Or I'm going to build it all the way up to 5 here, because I want to show just what we can do here. And we'll pop Hand of Gul'dan, as you can see there. I have imps all over the place now attacking the target. So that's kind of the replacement for wild imps, is it comes in the form of Hand of Gul'dan right there. And so they're all doing that, and then I can use Demon Wrath to have them spread damage. It doesn't look like it possibly works with the demon imps. We'll go ahead and double check that though here. Let me build it up again. Shadow Bolt's a much faster way of building this up, other than using Doom. Doom takes forever for it to build up. So with that, we use Hand of Gul'dan, and then we'll use Demon Imps. It does not work on your Wild Imps, so do pay attention to that. It does work on your Dreadstalkers, but it will not work on your Wild Imps, so take note of that. But you can get a lot of Imps out, as long as you are constantly building up 4 stacks, and then using Hand of Gul'dan, you can get 4 Imps out pretty quickly and have them up a lot of the time, which is pretty cool. Especially considering, you know, maybe like Dooms you have up, etc. So, I mean, right now I have 7 Imps up, all attacking the target. It can be pretty strong. And I'm not the best at Warlock. You guys have heard me say this before. I'm not as knowledgeable with Warlock as other specs. I just don't know as much about them. And only rogues I know less about. And I really have no clue what the rotation is, because you're going to have a rotation on calling Dreadstalkers and making sure that your Dreadstalkers are on the target. And that has a 15-second cooldown. And then you have Hand of Gul'dan. When is it better to use Hand of Gul'dan? 1, 2, 3, or 4 soul shards. And then you'll need to be keeping that up on the target. And then depending on whether, and then you need Doom to be on targets, and then on top of that, when you use Shadow Bolt, etc. There's a lot going on with Demonology. And honestly, I cannot give you an explanation as to why, as to how the best way to deal damage. I can try. There was a Mythic Raider here, I think, and he was testing out stuff with Demonology Warlocks, and I want to say he knew what he was doing, but I don't really know for sure. But I can try my best to use as much as I can to build up, so forth, and do my best to try give you an idea of what a rotation would look like here for a Demonology Warlock. I've already lost Doom on all the targets, put them back up. Hopefully they will fix this bug where you do not have access to, it does not show Doom above the target, because that to me is a huge bug, and that should be fixed. You kind of need to know when Doom is going to expel off a target, because if you don't, then you can't get this rolling really well in terms of your damage and so forth. So, I'm just trying my best to give you something of what a rotation will be like. You can see I'm just summoning demons all over the place. That's basically what I'm doing. And that's what you can expect to do as a Demonology Warlock, is just summon a lot of demons, get Doom up on different targets, and just let your demons deal the damage. And so that's kind of the fun part of a Demonology Warlock, is it's mostly you're letting your demons do the bulk of the damage. You really are somewhat like the demonic version of a Beast Mastery Hunter. So, with that being said, that's not all for the new abilities. Let's go ahead and take a look at 2 passives. They are both coming from the talent tree, the old talent tree, and they're now baseline now. So let me pull this up here. Not professions. I mean, you don't want to see professions. First of those talents is Soul Leech. All single target damage done by you and your minions grants you and your pet shadowy shields that absorb up to 10% damage dealt for 15 seconds, up to 15% of maximum health. This is somewhat similar to how Soul Leech is on live, so you now have that as a passive. I believe Affliction Warlocks also had access to this as well. And then the second passive that you have is going to be Soul Link. 20% of all damage that you take is taken by your demon pet instead. Soul Leech also heals you for 32% and your pet for 65% of the absorption it grants. So, little interaction between Soul Leech there with Soul Link, so that you have that heal in there. But two nice passives that are basically there for sustain for Demonology Warlock, and I like that it also plays off of your pets as well. So, everything as a Demonology Warlock is playing off of your pets and what you can do with your pets in World of Warcraft Legion. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the artifact weapon for a Demonology Warlock. The artifact weapon's ability is going to be Thalkiel's, I have it right there, Thalkiel's Consumption. Thalkiel drains 10% of the life from your demon servants and unleashes a blast of shadow damage at your current target equal to the life he stole. So, I'm going to go ahead and do this here. And apparently that is an invalid target. Whoops, I'm clicking the wrong ability. That was really stupid. Let me go ahead and use it here. There you go. And I stole 10% of my demon's life, and he got it back really quickly. And it's a 45-second cooldown, but it just goes in, does a bunch of damage. 92,000 damage. To give you an idea, Shadow Bolt deals 21,000 damage. So it does a lot of damage. Doom does way more. Your Doom is going to do way more damage, and I think just summoning 2 Dreadstalkers is actually going to do more damage than that as well. I'll summon 2 Dreadstalkers, and they'll begin attacking, and they should be able to do more damage than that as well. Especially if I use something like Demon Wrath. It'll very quickly start to deal more damage than what that will do. Doom, just so we know, hit for 146,000 shadow damage. So, I would say it's decent. I don't know how it'll fit into a rotation. It is on a 45-second cooldown. It is a 2-second cast, so I don't know where it fits into everything, but it is going to be your big artifact weapon ability. So with that, let's take a look at the artifact weapon. And your offhand here, I don't know what your offhand here is. It doesn't say. So you have a cool offhand here. I believe it's just the skull. The skull that's floating around is your offhand, which is pretty cool. That's actually really awesome. That your offhand is the skull that's kind of floating around. So you start right here with Thalkiel's Consumption, and this artifact weapon is called Skull of the Minari. And you're going to start with Thalkiel's Consumption. You'll work your way throughout the tree through all these abilities. You have 3 epic portraits, which we'll get to. But let's go ahead and start at the top here. We have Breath of Thalkiel. Increases fire and shadow damage dealt by 5%. Over here we have Summon Prowess. Summoner's Prowess. Increases the haste and health provided by Demonic Empowerment by 6%. If you've forgotten what Demonic Empowerment is, I'll show this up here. I thought I had this brought down to the bar. I did not. This is one of your new abilities. Empowers your active demons with dark energy, increasing their haste and health by 56% for 12 seconds. In fact, we need to see if this actually works real quick with the imps that summon. So there's that. You can see he's casting kind of slow here. Okay, now we're going to use that. And yes, he's moving much quicker now. So if I were to build up our Shadow Bolts here, just so we can show you this, see how much damage you can get out of this, we'll go ahead and use Hand of Gul'dan, and then Demonic Empowerment, and then you'll see your imps attacking a lot faster. So, definitely something to look forward to there. Now the skull was out there dealing some damage. Hopefully you guys saw that. If not, hopefully I can repeat it again. I believe that's going to be an artifact weapon talent, which we will get to in a bit. So that's 3 ranks, and that's 6%, so that's 2% per rank on the increase on Demonic Empowerment. Down here we have the Doom of Azeroth, increases the damage dealt by Doom by 30%, that'll be 10% per rank. Over here we have Sharpened Dreadfangs, increases the critical strike chance of Dreadstalkers by 15%, 5% per rank. We have Soul Skin, when your health drops below 35%, Soul Link increases to split 40% of all damage you take with your demon. I believe that'll be up from 20%. Over on the left-hand side, we have Imperator. Imperator. I believe it's a play on the old Roman emperor, or it's an old Roman title in the Roman Empire. It increases the critical strike chance of your Wild Imp's Fell Fire Bolt by 35%. So that's a nice ability to have. It kind of makes me wonder what they're gearing to, what they would like you to use as a pet, as a Demonology Warlock. It could be possible that maybe in PvE, you're going to be wanting to use a Wild Imp, uh, or an Imp, as your pet, as opposed to the Felguard, and then Felguard will be something that's more PvP. I don't know. I don't know the damage numbers, so that could be the case. It could not be the case. The Wild Imps are obviously mostly in reference to the Imps that you summon from your Hand of Gul'dan, but it's something to think about. Here we have Open Link, increases the healing done by Soul Link by 30%, so that's 10% per rank, 10, 20, 30. Our first epic portrait is Stolen Power. When your Wild Imps cast Firebolt, you gain an application of Stolen Power. After you reach 100 applications, the next Shadow Bolt deals 100% increased damage. Let's see if we can get this to show up. We don't have any Wild Imps up on the target at the moment, so let's do this, and then we'll use Hand of Gul'dan, and we'll use Demonic Empowerment so that they can start firing faster. And it's not showing up on this anywhere. On these, it's not actually showing up like as an indicator anywhere on where Stolen Power actually shows up. So I'm not quite sure where it shows up. It's not a buff on me, so I'm not really sure where you get this buff, but it is somewhere. It's one thing that Blizzard hasn't really been very good at, I should say, in showing where some of these buffs in the artifact weapon tree specifically are showing up. That's one thing that I've noticed, and hopefully that they will fix before the launch comes. Next we have Maw of Shadows, increases the critical strike chance of Shadow Bolt by 15%. That'll be 5% per rank, 3 ranks. We have Infernal Furnace, increases the damage dealt by your Wild Imp's Firebolt by 30%. That's going to be 10% per rank. So not only do we have this, but we also have the Imperator, or Imperator. So increase crit chance and increase Firebolt damage. So really everything's really built around your Imps and their dealing damage. We have Doom has a chance to deal double damage. So that's one thing that's really nice. Doom doubled. That's Doom, doubled. That's kind of an interesting title there. We have Dirty Hands, increases the damage dealt by Hand of Gul'dan by 15%. That'll be 5% per rank. Honestly, I don't think the damage from Hand of Gul'dan is that impressive. Really what you want are the Imps. That's what's really going to be the big factor for Hand of Gul'dan. So we'll see how that plays out. We have the Expendables. This is your next epic portrait. When your Wild Imps expire or die, your other demons are inspired and gain 1 additional damage, stacking up to 10 times. Let's see if this actually shows up as well. Something tells me it won't, but we will try. I'm going to go ahead and get 4 stacks here. And then I will go ahead and use Hand of Gul'dan. I'll let you guys do increased damage and so forth. Have fun, go to town, and then we will see. We have Threatening Presence, Soul Leech, Demonic Empowerment, and Demonic Empowerment will go off, and then we'll see. There's the buff. The Expendables buff does appear on your demon. Damage increased by 4%. It does stack up to 10 times. So there you go. We have Legion Wrath. Increases the damage dealt by Demon Wrath by 30%. That's 10% per rank. If you've forgotten, Demon Wrath is that wonderful ability that I'm using to get AoE damage on my demons when they're out there. It's the Beast Cleave, so to say, for Demonology Warlocks. We have Firm Resolve. Reduces the cooldown of Unending Resolve by 30 seconds. Unending Resolve hasn't been mentioned in this video. It's still baseline, works the same way as it does on Legion, so that's why, I mean on Warlords of Draenor, so that's why I haven't mentioned anything. But it does have a 30-second reduction from what it is on live, so it'll be 2.5 minutes instead of 3. And then our last option here is Thalkiel's Discord. Shadowbolt sometimes enrages Thalkiel. causing him to teleport to the enemy and scream for 90,000 damage. I'm going to start spamming Shadow Bolt here, and hopefully I can get this to work again. It happened once, and I'll probably never get it to happen again. But the skull actually did teleport over and just start radiating out damage. There he is, right there. So there he is. That is the artifact talent right there. I'm so glad I actually got that to proc. So he just kind of ports over there, and he gets really pissed off, and he starts dealing 90,000 damage over 6 seconds. As you can see right here, your Thalkiel's Discord hit Rebellious Imp for 52,000 critical, 26,000 per tick. So it hits for a lot, especially when you have a lot in a radius there. So that's everything for Demonology Warlocks and their abilities in World of Warcraft Legion. Honestly, I really like that they doubled down on the whole demon command thing, and basically made you this master commander of demons, and now you can just summon a whole slew of demons to attack your target. I think it's great compensation for the fact that you no longer have your demonology form, your metamorphosis anymore. I've heard a lot of demonology warlocks claim that they felt that it was kind of awkward to deal with. Demonology warlocks dealing with that demonology form. So I could be wrong. Maybe it won't be missed, but it's very possible that there will be some people out there that really miss it. But once again, I'm not gonna even pretend that I'm proficient in a warlock. I'm here to give you as much info as I can, comparing my live warlock to what I have on this beta realm and the changes. I attempted to give you a demonstration of what a rotation would possibly look like. Looking by what the talents you have in the artifact weapon tree, you are going to be heavily using your Hand of Gul'dan a lot. You're going to want those imps up a lot, and you're going to try and get Dreadstalkers up as well. But one thing that I noticed with the Dreadstalkers is that they don't do much damage. Now let's pull them up here and just see. Let's see. They did really quick damage at first there, but they're dealing 6,000 per tick, okay? Each bite is 6,000 for the both of them. Whereas if I were to... Whoops, that's the wrong ability, sorry. If I were to get 4 stacks of imps on here, I believe the imps were doing about 6,000 or 7,000 per tick. And then with Hand of Gul'dan, they were going even quicker. So, they're doing up to, looks like 11,000 per crit, 5,000 per hit. Honestly, I think Fel Imps are the better choice, especially since you can get 4 out. However, it does cost double. So, it's really going to be kind of a play on which one will be better. Whether it's better to get 4 soul shards and use Hand of Gul'dan, or to get maybe just 2 and 2. It all depends on how quickly you're able to generate soul shards. Once again, I said you're going to generate a lot of soul shards as a Demonology Warlock. So it's going to be more kind of like fast, kind of real-time reaction as to like, oh my gosh, I have so many, soul shards. I need to be spending my soul shards this way, as opposed to when I don't get soul shards as quickly as I would like to, and instead do it a little, spend them a little differently. I think that will kind of go into play in how a Demonology Warlock plays. With that being said, I do think that Demonology Warlock could be more complex than it is on live, and so therefore it'll be more fun to play on live. I'm not sure on how great its PvP aspirations are. We will try and get into that in the next video so you can hopefully get an idea of what that will be like. So, with that, that's everything for a Demonology Warlock in World of Warcraft Legion. In the next video, I will be looking at the PvE and PvP section of the Demonology Warlock. This time we went through the abilities and the artifact weapon, so we will look at the PvE and PvP talents next. Otherwise, that is everything in this first video. I will see you guys in the second. Tearless out.